There's a version of discipline that makes people uneasy. Not impressed, uneasy. It's the kind that doesn't fluctuate with mood. It doesn't spike when motivation is high and disappear when stress hits. It shows up at the same time, does the same thing, and leaves without drama. Most people see that kind of consistency and say, that's extreme. What they really mean is, I don't understand how that's possible. Because almost everyone lives inside the same invisible loop. They start strong, they go all in, they redesign their routine, announce their goals, buy new gear, feel unstoppable. And then something small happens. A bad night of sleep, a stressful week, travel, fatigue, and the whole structure collapses. Not because they're lazy, because they built it on negotiation. Raphael knew that loop well. He was successful on paper, good job, smart, reliable. But when it came to personal habits, he was predictable. He'd start the gym and quit after 2 months. Meditation would last a week. Books would be purchased and never finished. The pattern never changed. Monday, intense motivation. Wednesday, first negotiation. Friday, surrender. Sunday, promises about next week. He tried habit trackers, he tried rewards, he tried accountability partners. Nothing stuck. Because he was trying to fix behavior without understanding identity. The breakthrough came from something ancient. In certain Zen monasteries, there is a concept called gyoji. It translates roughly to continuous practice without gap. Without gap. That phrase matters more than it sounds. In one temple in Japan, a bell rings every morning at the same time. It has rung for centuries. Through wars, famine, disasters, it rings, and the monks rise. Here's what never happens. A monk does not lie in bed thinking, maybe I'll skip today. That thought doesn't exist. Why? Because for them, practice is not a decision. It is identity. Your brain treats commitments in 2 categories: reversible and irreversible. Reversible commitments are open to negotiation. I'll try. I'll see how I feel, if I have time. Irreversible commitments are declarations. When a monk takes vows publicly, he isn't promising to meditate. He is declaring himself a monk. The identity is set. The negotiation ends. Raphael realized something uncomfortable. Every habit he had ever attempted was reversible, optional, flexible, negotiable. So he changed the frame. He wrote one sentence. I am a person who wakes up at 5 a.m. and meditates for 20 minutes every day for 90 days. Not I will try, not I plan to. I am. Then he did something that scared him. He made it public, he posted it, he told his friends, he removed privacy from his commitment. Why does that matter? Because your brain evolved in tribes. Losing status once meant losing safety. When you declare something publicly, failure doesn't feel like mild disappointment. It feels like threat. That tension changes behavior. On day 3, the alarm rang at 5 a.m. His brain began its usual script. You're tired. One day won't matter. Start fresh tomorrow. But now quitting had a cost. It wasn't just internal guilt, it was social contradiction. He got up, not because he felt strong, because the identity had been declared, but something else was still wrong. Even with the public declaration, he was fighting every morning. The monks didn't rely on public pressure alone. They removed another variable: time. Most people negotiate not just whether to act, but when. Morning or evening, now or later, after coffee. Every decision drains mental energy. By the time action is required, willpower is already low. Raphael locked one time, 5 a.m. Not because it was optimal, because it eliminated debate. The world was quiet, no messages, no distractions, no excuses. The first week was brutal. His body resisted, his mind complained. But the time did not change. By week 2, something subtle shifted. He began waking up a few minutes before the alarm. Repetition had trained anticipation. By day 14, his feet hit the floor before his mind fully engaged. That's what fixed timing does. It removes negotiation at the entry point, but the brain adapts. Raphael began negotiating something else. If not when, then what? Some mornings meditation felt right, other mornings reading seemed better. Sometimes push-ups replaced both. The time was fixed, the content was chaos. Variety feels intelligent, but variety reintroduces decision-making. Push-ups or stretching, 10 minutes or 20? Meditate or journal? Each micro-decision is a crack where old patterns slip back in. So he locked the sequence, 20 push-ups, 10 minutes meditation, 10 minutes reading. Same order, same timer, every day, no creativity, no upgrades. His friends said he was becoming robotic. Good. Week 3, his mind rebelled. This is boring. You'll burn out. You need variety. What his brain meant was, I'm losing control. Week 4, resistance softened. Week 6, something changed. He was halfway through his push-ups before fully waking up. That's when he understood something most people never reach. Discipline is not sustained by willpower. It is sustained by automation. Repeat an action in the same context long enough, and your brain transfers it from conscious effort to automatic pattern. You stop deciding, you start executing. But the real test wasn't routine, it was disruption. On day 35, he got sick. On day 40, he had to travel for work. Old Raphael would have said, I'll restart next week. That sentence had killed every habit before. This time, he refused to create a gap. Flew, 2 push-ups instead of 20. 5 minutes instead of 10. Travel, push-ups in the airport bathroom. Meditation in the Uber. Reading on the plane. Nothing was perfect. Everything was continuous. And that continuity changed him. By day 60, he didn't feel like someone trying to be disciplined. He felt like someone who wakes up at 5 a.m. That shift, from trying to being, is where frightening consistency begins. And this is only the foundation. The moment discipline stops feeling heroic is the moment it becomes real. That's where most people quit. They want intensity. They want the surge. They want to feel like they're becoming someone new. But real consistency doesn't feel dramatic. It feels ordinary, predictable, almost boring. And that's what makes it powerful. Around day 70, Raphael noticed something unsettling. He didn't feel motivated anymore. There was no excitement when the alarm rang. No sense of achievement after finishing his routine. No rush of pride. He just did it. And for a brief moment, he panicked. Had he lost the fire? This is the psychological trap most people fall into. They mistake emotional intensity for progress. When the intensity fades, they assume growth has stopped. But intensity is not stability. Intensity is fragile. What replaced Raphael's motivation was something much stronger. Inevitability. The routine no longer required internal debate. There was no internal speech, no argument, no should I. His body moved before his mind fully engaged. That's when he understood the deeper layer of Gyoji. Continuous practice without gap doesn't just build discipline, it rewires identity. Your brain adapts to repeated behavior by forming prediction models. When you repeat an action at the same time in the same order under different conditions, your nervous system stops seeing it as optional. It becomes expected. And once something becomes expected, skipping it creates discomfort. Notice the shift. At the beginning, doing the routine was uncomfortable. Now not doing it would feel wrong. That's identity reversal. Most people try to force discipline through emotional spikes. They wait until they feel inspired. They watch a video, they get energized, they promise change. But inspiration is unstable. What Raphael built was structural consistency. Structure beats emotion. By month 3, something even more important happened. External obstacles stopped feeling like threats. Travel days weren't emergencies. Sickness wasn't a reset button. Stress wasn't an excuse. They were variables inside a fixed system. And here's the psychological truth most people avoid. You don't fail because life gets hard. You fail because your system depends on ideal conditions. If your discipline requires perfect sleep, perfect mood, perfect environment, you don't have discipline, you have convenience. Raphael's practice survived because it was stripped to essentials. Fixed time, fixed sequence, no gap, and something else changed quietly. He stopped identifying as someone working on discipline. He stopped trying to become consistent. He became someone who simply does what he said he would do. That identity shift removes drama. No speeches, no vows, no emotional buildup. Just execution. By day 90, the transformation wasn't physical, it was structural. He no longer negotiated with himself, and that's when consistency becomes frightening. Because when negotiation dies, excuses lose power. And once excuses lose power, very little can stop you. There is a moment in every transformation when the external goal stops being the point. It happens quietly. The weight goal becomes irrelevant. The streak number stops mattering. The applause fades, and what remains is identity. By the time Raphael completed 90 days, the routine itself wasn't impressive anymore. It was normal. Waking at 5 a.m. didn't feel disciplined. It felt expected. The sequence of push-ups, meditation, and reading no longer required effort. It required obedience to identity. And that is the real shift. Most people chase outcomes. They want visible proof. Results that can be shown, before and after photos, numbers, validation. But outcomes are unstable motivators. Once you hit them, the urgency disappears. And when urgency disappears, old patterns creep back. Identity does not depend on urgency. Identity is structural. When Raphael first began, he was someone trying to be consistent. Every day felt like effort. Every morning felt like resistance. But through repetition without gap, something changed. He became someone who wakes at 5 a.m. That sentence carries weight. When behavior becomes identity, quitting feels unnatural. You don't argue about brushing your teeth. You don't debate whether to go to work if you identify as a professional. You don't reconsider showing up for your child if you identify as a father who shows up. The decision disappears. That's the level most people never reach because they stop too early. They stop when it's boring. They stop when the emotional high fades. They stop when no one is watching. But the frightening consistency you admire in others isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in repetition when no one cares. There's another uncomfortable truth. When you reach this level, people will react. Some will admire it, others will criticize it, a few will mock it. They'll say you're obsessive. They'll say you need balance. They'll suggest you're overcompensating. What they're really reacting to is contrast. Your consistency exposes their negotiation. It reminds them of the promises they made and broke. That discomfort isn't your responsibility. If anything, it's confirmation that you're operating differently. The goal of the Gyoji system was never motivation, it was elimination. Eliminate negotiation, eliminate variability, eliminate gaps. When gaps disappear, your old identity has nowhere to re-enter. That's the real enemy. Not laziness, not lack of talent, not bad luck. The enemy is the gap. The skipped day. The just this once. The restart next Monday. Each gap reopens the door. Continuity closes it. And here's where this becomes personal. You don't need to wake at 5 a.m. You don't need push-ups or meditation. You don't need to copy Raphael, but you do need one irreversible commitment. One declaration that moves from I'll try to I am. One fixed time, one fixed sequence, one pre-decided response to obstacles. Make it public if you have to. Make it uncomfortable. Make quitting cost something. Then remove decision from the equation. No daily redesign, no constant optimization, no chasing novelty, just repetition. At first, it will feel mechanical, then it will feel annoying, then it will feel automatic, and eventually it will feel inevitable. That's when people start saying, "That's not normal." They're right. It's not normal. Normal is negotiation. Normal is inconsistency. Normal is starting over. You're not building normal, you're building inevitability. The frightening level of discipline you admire isn't about aggression or intensity, it's about removal. Removing the option to betray yourself, and once that option disappears, something powerful happens. You stop trying. You simply are. And when you reach that point, consistency no longer feels like effort, it feels like truth.